Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this engaging panel discussion on Simplify Your Complex Hybrid Cloud Ecosystem, organized by NTT and Cisco in association with ETCIO. The modern enterprise is becoming complex. A majority of the organizations are embracing cloud platforms while still retaining on-premise infrastructures. By keeping some workloads on-premise and others in private clouds, they are creating complex hybrid IT environments.
Yes, thank you, first of all, for having me here, and wishes to all my fellow panelists as well. So we look at hybrid cloud on a what we call as the 3R framework, right? So what we call as rejuvenation, and then renovation, and then reimagination, correct? So these are the three vectors along which we believe hybrid cloud brings value to any organization. So what do I mean by these three R's? Let me explain. So rejuvenate actually means ensuring that you sweat out your existing assets, whether they be in the data center or in the cloud, correct? So there are three basic things that you do when you're looking at rejuvenation kind of a vector, correct? You would look at automating all your core operations, correct? So you will want to digitize, particularly in this time. That has become a huge imperative for the organizations, correct? And that you are able to do that because you have this API based access in the cloud, you have your in-house systems that can talk to these environments and so on and so forth. So one of the latest examples that we ourselves at CSS Corp have implemented, and maybe many other organizations have, is essentially how do we do virtual hiring and virtual onboarding. We have been in work from home model from March 2020, and we have doubled our headcount during this time. All because we were able to do the digitization of all of these core operations, correct? And that was only possible because we looked at APIs, we looked at the things that are there in the hybrid environment that we could automate. And all this systems actually provide you a lot of analytics which you can further enhance and automate more and more. So that's the optimization that we are doing. The other thing that we do when we look at rejuvenation is risk reduction. That the threats have kind of quadrupled 5 times, 6 times from the time that people have started working from home. Now, right. If we just improve the architecture and the security framework, we can say 57% of those costs for all the migrated applications, correct? And that's a huge number, correct? And this assumes that 50% of all your hybrid infra is actually in cloud, correct? And then that's what we are looking at. This is very important because this is the primary should I say blocker for moving to the cloud. So if you have proper architectures, you can actually do something about it. Now, sure. The third one that almost everybody mentioned was IT cost optimization and so on and so forth, right? Now, shift and lift actually increases the cost. For those who have actually done shift and lift, without any remediation on platforms, without any optimization on the platforms, it actually leads to increased cost to the effect of 28%, 29%, over a 3-year and an esteemed panelist even mentioned that number when he was discussing this earlier, correct? So what we have done is we have done those best practices. We have eliminated some of those things, improved the platform and so on and so forth, which essentially gave us about 34 to 38% infrastructure cost efficiency and ADM efficiency, which is the development and maintenance efficiency, to the tune of around 26 to 31%, based on the data that we have looked at and analyzed when we started moving to the hybrid cloud environment. Correct? Sure. So, of this rejuvenation, I'll tell you one proof point from my IT organization itself. The IT budget for run business, which is essentially supporting the business, has gone down by 24% per billable employee. Wow. And this has come because we measure all these metrics, right? The second thing, innovation. See, I had the technology function within CSS, right? And it is imperative for me to innovate, to differentiate ourselves from the market, right? So there are three use cases that I find, and the earlier panelist point, yes, there are use cases which can only be done in private cloud or in premise, right? So one is there are use cases that have been unearthed only because there was public cloud. For example, things like neural networks, things like speech analytics, things like those which actually make deep learning possible.
Sure.
Right? Sure. And then there are use cases that could make do with a lot of benefits of the cloud, but actually can be run on-prem. And the third one, obviously, like others mentioned, security, compliance, and all of that stuff. That's actually something that you can't do.
Got
The
it.
third one, reimagine, is fail first, fail fast. Right. Anybody would like to look at AR, VR, blockchain, 3D, and all of that stuff really fast, correct?
Sure.
So those are the three vectors in which we see hybrid cloud utilization.
Okay.
And there are some numbers that I would like to quote. Our feature velocity has the time to improve the feature or build a new feature has reduced by up to 27% because we have judiciously used both these infrastructure components.
Wonderful. Great, sir.
So those are things, and there are some lessons. We actually moved in tandem with business. You can't isolate yourself. And the second biggest lesson is invest in your people, because all of this is not possible by taking freshers out and giving them the infrastructure to work with.
Sure. Great. Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much for that very